Hey everyone, off the mic Sports Network here. The calendar has turned to February, and we are just a couple weeks removed from Ohio State winning a national title. And they have now lost in the span of a couple of weeks. They're both their coordinators and their offensive line coach. Because in the span of this, just in the span of the last 2 days, Justin Fry, offensive line coach. Shout out Rhett Lewis, my buddy, guy who I work with over on Sirius XM and with the NFL Network. That's his old college buddy. Um, Justin Fry did a great job with the offensive line at Ohio State. He goes to the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals. Um, and then obviously the big one. We talked about Jim Knowles last week. That was a huge deal. That was a major surprise. This one wasn't a surprise, and that's Chip Kelly. He's going to go be the offensive coordinator with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'll talk about what that means for the Raiders specifically in another video coming later, but because that's a fascinating element of this whole thing, having Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll on the same staff, two of the great college coaches of the last 15 years, pairing together, 15, 20 years. In regards for what this does to Ohio State, now you've got to start wondering, okay, Ryan Day's got his championship. He was able to right the ship. But now he's got to rework his staff in a way that I've never seen a national championship team get poached off like this quite this way. Granted, Notre Dame lost their defensive coordinator, Al Golden, to the NFL as well, to the Cincinnati Bengals. But man, this is Chip Kelly. I always thought was probably gonna leave because the NFL was always going to be calling for him. After he left UCLA, he went to Ohio State. This never felt like a long-term thing for Chip Kelly to be at Ohio State. Like it didn't really make a lot of sense, and it seemed like he wanted to kind of get out of the college game because of where it was going. He didn't like the recruiting aspect of it, the NIL thing. That's why he left UCLA. That's why he got out of UCLA. So him leaving is not surprising, but it certainly presents a problem here for Ohio State because now I'm trying to figure out off the board who they might go get at offensive coordinator. And to me, and I give credit to the guys over at Ohio Sports Talk on X. Go give them a follow. They're great. I have great interactions with them all the time about the Browns, whatnot. Why not hire Brian Hartline? Why not hire Brian Hartline from within? He's the wide receivers coach. This guy has consistently put multiple high-level wide receivers in the NFL. High-level ones. And there's going to probably be another first-round one in Emeka Ibuka. You've got Jeremiah Smith, who's going to be there for another couple of seasons. If I'm Ohio State, I heavily consider moving Brian Hartline up to offensive coordinator because he's clearly a big reason why this offense has been so successful over the years. And the big question is Ryan Day, after giving up the play calling, going to want to take it back? That's going to be the other element of this thing that's going to be really interesting. I think there's a real possibility that both of these hires for Ohio State are internal. Safeties coach Matt Guerrieri, I think is how you pronounce his name. He was getting a lot of love at the celebration a week ago, right around the time when Jim Knowles was leaving. That's the bigger problem is Jim Knowles was a huge success with this defense, and he's gone to Penn State. So how does Ohio State rework this staff is going to be really interesting because they've got a stellar defensive player in Caleb Downs on one side of the ball. They got a stellar offensive player in Jeremiah Smith on the other side of the ball. We'll see who the quarterback's going to be. They got to replace a whole bunch of people. Sonny Styles is coming back. Davison Igbinosun is coming back on the defensive side. Yeah, it's gonna be, and I mean you'll have Carnell Tate at wide receiver as well. But yeah, I've never seen a national championship team quite get gutted like this. I mean, we see this a lot in the NFL, but you rarely see in the span of a week the offensive and defensive coordinators and the offensive line coach all go to different places, two of which go to the NFL. One goes to Penn State, your rival. So it's going to be really interesting to watch this, man. I don't know how Ryan Day is going to do it, but even though he finally, silenced some of the critics in winning that national title, it's not going to stop, man. He's the Ohio State head coach, and now he is won a national title. Now he's got it. Now it's all about how he bounces back from this, and he should be able to get whoever he wants because it's the Ohio State Buckeyes. But holy shit, man, this is a really massive story early on in the college football offseason to see how the Buckeyes, the national champions, just 2 weeks after winning the title, are going to replace a large chunk of their coaching staff. So, anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.